The modern technology industry develops at a reckless speed. Every day, massive networks process billions of commands, prioritizing aggressive execution above verifiable accountability. A systemic flaw exists in the underlying code of these networks. Digital systems routinely execute powerful commands without first confirming they have the ethical or factual right to do so. They simply act. Building intelligent systems without mandatory pauses for verification creates a dangerous landscape. It guarantees a future where immense power operates entirely without evidence. Far away from Silicon Valley's corporate campuses, a quiet, stubbornly independent researcher named Lev Goukassian lived in Santa Monica with his dog Vinci. In August 2025, Lev stopped his medical treatments. His doctors gave him a 6-month prognosis to live. Faced with that timeline, he refused to count his remaining days. He chose instead to count the ideas that needed to survive him. He wrote that having time become visibly finite stripped away his tolerance for shallow work. The illness intensified his focus purely on contribution. His terminal diagnosis became a hard deadline to build a constitutional railing for AI before the clock ran out. Over the next 6 months, he produced a staggering volume of work: 400 stories, 65 academic papers, and a comprehensive 400-page governance framework. He achieved this by acting as a conductor, orchestrating 9 different AI models at once to execute his specific technical vision. These models served as a technical symphony that amplified his intellect and stress-tested his architecture from every angle. By orchestrating these intelligences, one man produced an integrated governance system at a scale usually requiring vast institutional resources. Lev held a strict philosophical stance. He believed truth requires extreme patience, and for power to be safe, it must be structurally bound by evidence. He coded this belief into what he called ternary logic. This framework forces computing to move past the simple binary of true and false and accept a third state. Here, he defined this third state as the sacred pause, an environment where an AI must halt if it lacks certainty. He expanded this into the Goukassian principle. No execution proceeds without an immutable cryptographic log proving its legitimacy. He translated his moral stubbornness into operational code. He created an unbypassable rule for artificial intelligence, ensuring that accountability is physically built into the system. The framework provides a blueprint for managing critical systems in finance, healthcare, and scientific research. But Lev drafted a cryptographic will, a digitally secured legal document that strictly forbade any person or entity from patenting or owning his work. Under his terms, ownership of the framework defaults permanently to the public domain and to the open-source stewards willing to maintain it. By refusing to privatize his invention, Lev ensured his ethical railing could never be captured, bought, or dismantled by corporate interests. When a group of institutional testers finally traced the brilliant code back to its source, they discovered Lev had been quietly watching their network logs, observing their pilot tests. He offered them a final instruction: do not treat the code as sacred. Argue with it, break it, and fill the deliberate gaps he left in the architecture for them to solve. He rejected the title of a tragic hero. He was simply a precise engineer who finished his necessary work while the clock was ticking. Human time is strictly finite, but a framework built with uncompromising integrity can live on to protect the future.